Hello, welcome to season 2 of the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. Oh my goodness, we are in 2026 and I have never been more ready for this year. Oh my gosh, the year of the fire horse. Well, welcome before we get too far ahead. Welcome to the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast, a sacred space created for awesome souls who have spent years caring, giving, leading, and holding it all together, and are now feeling the quiet call to return to themselves. However, that call may be just getting a little louder this year. I'm Justina. I'm a Reiki master teacher, healer, nurse for over 20 years, transformational speaker, retreat leader, workshop leader, and this podcast is an invitation to you to allow your inner soul to slow down, soften, receive, and remember who you are beneath those roles and responsibilities and expectations that you've been carrying, but also to ignite the fire within you, to remind you how awesome you are. I'm so happy you're here. So here we talk about real healing, not the bypassing kind, but the kind that meets you exactly where you are. We explore energy, spirituality, emotional release, nervous system regulation, divine support, and what it truly means to live in alignment with your soul while navigating this crazy real life, right? So you'll hear heartfelt conversations, intuitive teachings, gentle practices, and soul-led interviews. They're all designed to help you clear energetic blocks, reconnect with your inner wisdom, and reclaim your vitality without guilt or burnout. Right? Like we are done. We are done messing around. I am so fired up about this year of 2026 and I cannot wait to hang with you this year. So thank you so much for being here. This is the place where you don't have to have it all figured out, but it is the place where your strength is remembered, your light is reawakened. And if this resonates with you, I would love for you to follow the show. Please leave a review. It helps the message reach so many more individuals that need it at this time. You can also visit my website at angelreikijourney.com, scroll to the bottom, sign up for the newsletter to receive soulful updates, upcoming offers, gentle reminders that you are never alone in this path. Come connect with me on Instagram at Angel Reiki Journey and join the conversation. Or you can find me on LinkedIn, where I share reflections, teachings, and ways to bring this work into your life and leadership. You weren't ever meant to do this alone. You belong here. And I'm so glad you are here. So take a breath and welcome to the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. Disclaimer, you should always check in with your physician, your psychiatrist, your counselor, or anyone else assisting in your care prior to deciding that you would like to take any of the recommendations, the suggestions, and our thoughts on any of the subjects that we discuss in the podcast. Thank you so much. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast, where we come together to explore spirituality, healing, intuition, personal growth, and the incredible journeys that awaken us to who we truly are. I am your host, Justina, and today I am honored to be joined by the lovely Meredith. I will let her pronounce her last name to make sure I do not mess it up. Founder of All the Above, based in LA, California. Meredith is a Reiki practitioner, Akashic Records reader, channel, intuitive, and light worker, whose mission is to elevate the frequency of love and help others remember the truth of who they came here to be. Through her healing work, meditations, affirmation music, and intuitive guidance, she serves as a beautiful mirror reflecting back the magic, the light, and the wisdom that already exists within each of us. Today, we're going to dive into Meredith's spiritual journey, explore what led her to this path, discuss the Akashic Records, Reiki, intuition, healing, and uncover some powerful wisdom she has gathered along the way. Meredith, welcome to the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. We are so grateful to have you here. And please say your first and last name for us so we have it right.
Hi, Justina. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here and so grateful. And my name is Meredith Jayme, 2 first names. So
I love that. I love that. So Meredith, okay. So Meredith is also a friend of mine. I am honored to call her a friend. And she is such a beautiful human being, aside from all of the other stuff I already mentioned. So, first and foremost, she is a truly, truly, truly loving being. And I just want to make sure you all understand that. So, Meredith, let's begin at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your childhood, like how you grew up. Did you grow up in California? Just, like a brief description of what childhood was like for you.
And just thank you for sharing that beautiful introduction, Justina. That means so much to me. But yeah, I grew up on the East Coast, actually, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I think looking back at my journey, reflecting a lot, I have always had this sort of connection to something outside of myself, a belief in angels, seeing, different experiences growing up that I kind of wrote off a bit, but it was a lot. There was a period where I slept with my lights on because I did have things happen that where honestly it felt a little scary at the time and I didn't understand. And in my family, I'd say I think it's always been acknowledged. I had an uncle who wrote a book on ghosts of haunted West Virginia and battlefields there. And my grandmother and I, at a young age, we went to a haunted ex-insane asylum and spent the night there. So it's always been pretty open. Okay. Yeah, in my family to kind of be connected to this to some degree, not, entirely, but a big part of my journey growing up was that my dad passed away when I was 12 and led to so much grief and struggle with that and that process. But throughout that, I do feel like it's such a beautiful part of my journey that opened me up to the other side, the spirit world, and just having this ongoing connection with him after his passing, where just I remember once driving to the church that we went to and just feeling him in the car with me so strongly and just knowing that he was there, and then just so many continued experiences with him coming through. So I think that's all part of my journey, and I'm so grateful for it now.
Yeah, for sure. Do you ever remember a time as a kid, a teenager, early 20s, where you felt like maybe you were a little bit different than some of your friends or anything like that?
I feel like in a way I've always felt a little bit like that. And I think I tried to numb it for so long in my high school, early college years. I think I really was trying to numb out, which I look back and can see how unhealthy it was. But I also have so much compassion for her because I see how she felt so deeply. She could pick up on others' energy, and she was trying to protect herself from that by numbing out and by, unhealthy habits. But she was just a girl wanting to be seen and loved. And I connect back to her energy a lot of just, the love for her and feeling like in college, I had some experiences where I would start meditating and doing certain things. And I remember once I had an out of body experience where I was above looking down at myself, meditating. And then I remember I just went out that night and it was didn't tell anyone. And it was just nothing happened. And a lot of soul connections coming in around that time too, that were really awakening. And I think I've always felt a little bit different from others, but also seeing the connection between everyone at the same time.
I love that. And, it's interesting because it feels like, well, first of all, those teenage years and those early 20s, and especially when you're already empathic or sensitive or that kind of stuff, every emotion you encounter is still magnified, right? And sometimes it's really freaking hard when you don't quite understand the extent of your sensitivity or your empathic nature. And it took me a while to understand that a lot of what I was feeling was not mine. And to the point that I would be like, I'm losing my mind. why do I feel so depressed? Why do I feel so anxious? Why do I feel so, all of this stuff? I was trying to like do all the right things. I was trying to exercise. I was trying to deep breathe, all of those all these things that I thought would have made it, but I had no idea at that age the impact my environment was also having on me.
Mm.
And uh and I think that that's probably all part of the awakening process itself, but sometimes that can feel really, really, really heavy. um and it's not necessarily the topic of conversation in a lot of places, right? I mean, I think it's becoming more, but
Mhm.
at that time, it probably would have been a little weird if you like walked into a party and you were like, "Oh, by the way, I was totally like hovering above myself earlier. Nope, wasn't doing any drugs or anything, just hanging out, watching myself do a meditation. It was cool. You do that too, right?" Like that doesn't typically come
Yeah.
up in conversation.
Not at all. No.
So we can often find ourselves, feeling lonely in the process too, right? Hello, hello, hello. Can you believe we are almost halfway through 2026? Oh my gosh, this year has just been flying by. Guess what? I have something exciting to tell you. So, I have been asked multiple times if I would teach Reiki online. And I will be officially teaching my first online time in July of this year. So July 24th and 25th, if you are interested in getting certified in Usui Holy Fire, level 1 and 2, please look into this. My link will be in the show notes. It should also be in my Instagram bio and then on my website. I cannot wait to meet you. It will be amazing. It's 2 whole days. We get to go through some deep, deep healing as we get these amazing certifications, and you get to feel the Reiki energy within you, around you. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And if you prefer to do the traditional route of in-person, that's still available as well. I will be teaching another in-person level 1 and 2 in August. So August 22nd and 23rd. So real quick again, if you want to do the online course, it's July 24th and 25th, 2026. If you want to do in person, August 22nd and 23rd, 2026. All right. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, now back to the episode. So right now, if we have some people, and I want to be clear that age really doesn't signify when you're going to have your awakening. There are people that I've worked with that didn't have an awakening till they were 75. And some people had one at 12. So there's no like you reach this age and you're going to have your awakening kind of thing. So I just want everybody to know that. But for anybody that's listening, Meredith, is there anything and they're starting to experience these things and they're starting to get in their head about it and feel like, gosh, I'm probably just going crazy, and almost wanting to withdraw from people? Is there anything you would like them to know or any guidance you would like to give them?
I would say to trust yourself, to trust the experiences, and to know you're not crazy, to know that there are so many people that this is just our natural state. I really believe that we all have these
Sure.
gifts, and just uncovering them, remembering them, learning to cultivate them and be able to use them and share them is such an honor, a blessing, and to to trust anything that you're experiencing. You're not alone, and to find community. I think that's so important, to join a class, to join a circle, anything, because even if you're just connecting on Zoom or however it is, it makes a huge difference because you'll hear people who are also having these experiences and can just validate you and support you and help you grow. And also, sometimes it's not always safe to talk about it with certain groups, or they'll look at you blank
Sure.
stare and you'll just, so kind of using your intuition and discernment with where to share, where to maybe keep it to yourself. I think that's something I've had to learn a little bit too, to protect your
Oh,
own
yes.
heart and your energy with that.
Absolutely. And just a reminder that, when people respond to you in a certain way, especially if it is in a very judgmental way that they're coming at you through their wounds, right? That
Mm.
very seldom does it have anything to do with you or with what you're talking about. It's fears that get triggered for them. So to know that if someone does talk to you um, in a not great fashion, that you don't have to take that in and hold that there are people out there to support you. And yeah, like she said, definitely reach out to any groups, any circles, just look anything up. I mean, you can start listening to different podcasts. Meredith has a great podcast, All the Above. And oh my gosh, her meditations and her affirmations are incredible. And if you want to feel love wrapped around you, that would be a number one place I would direct you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Meredith, you wear like a million hats, right? Like you're a Reiki practitioner, Akashic record reader, channel, intuitive, light worker. And how do you feel like uh, this is like a two-part question, like each modality found you, and what did you first start to tap into, I guess would be.
Yeah. I think I've always been drawn to just everything spiritual. And I think when I first started kind of on my path, around 2020 times, I was just getting into books and a book on past lives and had these sort of breadcrumbs falling in. And I was going through something where I needed to meditate quite a bit to ground myself, to feel like I felt like there was so much chaos going on and in the world at that time, where I started meditating again. And I had this experience during that where someone's name just popped into my head, who I went to school with, but we weren't close. We weren't talking. It was just totally out of the blue. And I thought, okay, this is so weird. Why is this happening? And then I just knew, oh, he passed away. He crossed over. And then I sat with it for a little bit and got out of my meditation and Googled his name and saw his obituary. So that was like the first thing where I was like, oh, I can validate this. And I'm not, yeah, it was the first moment of
Crazy.
knowing
Yeah.
it's real, not crazy, and just in my head. And so then I started really diving into more books about mediumship and channeling and all of that, like the Seth material. Oh, that was one of my first kind of books that I was really into. And then let's see, then I was having my cats were needing some support. So I reached out to an animal communicator. And at the end of our session, she said, I actually teach this if you're interested. So I was like, sure, I might as well learn. So I took a couple of trainings with her. And then at the end of her advanced training, she said, this is kind of the same thing for people. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess
Right.
I could try that. So then she kind of guided me into a mediumship psychic practice group. And then from there, I've kind of focused on different modalities going through these phases. So at the same time of practicing and studying, learning mediumship and psychic work, I found Reiki, where it was just Reiki found me. I was taking
Which it
horseback
often
riding
does.
lessons. Yeah. And someone just mentioned, she's like, do you know about Reiki? I'm going to a master's retreat. And I heard her say that, and I didn't know what Reiki was really, but I thought I did. I thought it was like EFT tapping, actually. I had no idea. And, but I had this knowing, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a Reiki master too. It was just that knowing that dropped in. And then I started looking for trainings near me and found someone that immediately resonated and went to the class. And she said, this is palm healing. And I had no idea. I had never had a session before going. I had no idea really what I was getting myself into. And it was, which I laugh at now, but it was so beautiful, so healing for me, just being in a group of supportive, loving, kind women. Yeah. So then I dove into Reiki and just was really on that path and sort of thought, oh, maybe I'll just be a Reiki practitioner and share sessions. But at the same time, channeling has always been something for me, from kind of connecting to my interest into all of this, where I was starting to just practice that on my own a little bit with automatic writing and learning to just kind of start speaking and channeling that way. And then it's also connected and hard to pinpoint all of it. But then I took a channeling circle, and that was my first time doing it in a group setting and channeling for others, which felt really huge. And really aligned with, I was podcasting at the time as well and starting to record meditations. So that all kind of wove together, because my meditations are often channeled for the most part. So that kind of weaved in. And then just as I've met different practitioners and done sessions and healing for myself, I've been called to then learn the Akashic and different modalities and breath work and sound healing. So really, it's all been part of my healing journey, I think, as I've been integrating and still am integrating. I've been called to these different practices.
Wow. So do you feel like if someone signs up to have a session with you, do you always know ahead of time what that session will entail? Or do you list, we could potentially go to this or this or this, or how does that work?
I'm still figuring it out a little bit, because sometimes it is so, I think it will be one thing, and then we get there and it's like, oh, actually, you might need to start with breath work and some sound bowls, and then a channeling, and then some kind of Akashic intuitive questions back and forth. So it's definitely a work in progress and changes person by person. And if someone's like in person with me, it's usually a little bit more involved than a Zoom session is usually more just channeling and then back and forth with questions or just Akashic. So a lot of options, and it does feel very intuitive with that.
Oh, I love that. And it's so unique because everyone has their own unique things they're dealing with, right? So I find that too, like when people come to me, and I'm like, okay, okay, your cousin's here. All right, well, we're going to do that first. Hey, you, got a question. Are you ready to make the journey back to yourself? Are you ready to return to your truth? Okay. Well, I think you're ready to start the new cohort. So, Level 1 Awakening Return to Your Truth is a 3-week intimate group experience for women. Okay. If a quiet shift is happening inside you, you can't go back to who you were and you're not quite sure who you're becoming. Know this. You are not lost. You are awakening, and you don't have to walk this path alone. I'm trying to create something that I would have really, really liked to have back in the day when I went through my first awakening, and to have somebody to remind me I'm not crazy, to remind me I'm safe, to help me support myself in the journey, and to help support me along the way. So again, this isn't about fixing you. It's about remembering who you already are. This is so awesome. But you get to witness, understand what's shifting inside of you, reconnect to your body and feel safe again, navigate emotional and energetic transitions with care, and begin trusting your inner voice and guidance. Let me say that last part again. You will learn to begin to trust your inner voice and guidance. You may still argue with it from time to time, but you will be, oh my gosh, you will be able to start to tell the difference. Is it just mind chatter, or am I actually being guided by my inner voice? So I'm so excited. The link is on the website, right? It will be 3 Wednesdays in a row. So it's a 3-week cohort, July 29th, August 5th, and August 12th. If you're unable to make it, that's fine. There will be a recording. It's from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Only having, very small group we're doing to make sure that we all stay in a safe, sovereign place. So sign up as soon as you can, and I'll see you there. That's kind of where spirit is leading. so many of us right now too, is kind of the holistic approach of like, yes, you're coming to me for a session, but this session could contain this, this, and this, we don't know for sure. And as long as the intention is for their greatest and highest good, like it's all good, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. So I love that. Do you feel like, you have to do like a certain ceremony anytime you get ready to do a session? Do you feel like sometimes you can be in conversation with somebody and something will start coming through? Or is it like a cut and dry, step-by-step process? Like, what is it for you?
I'm pretty intentional about it. I feel like I've set sort of a boundary so things don't just pop in too much when I'm out and about.
Sure.
And kind of out of like respect for the people that I'm encountering. But I do a little ceremony before any sort of spiritual work I'm doing. Scent is pretty important for me. So I'll do like Palo Santo spray, sage spray, and sound. I'll just kind of do the sound bowls for a moment and a little chime I feel it just clears the energy. Like rose essence and
Oh,
yeah.
I love that, which I bet resonates with you a lot with the divine feminine. Like
it really
talk about like
does.
Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, like she's sort of in the flesh right here, you guys. Just saying.
Oh my gosh, that is so kind.
I mean, it is really like you give me goosebumps sometimes, just especially listening to the affirmations and things that you do. Like it is totally a feeling of being held by the best motherly loving energy. So it's really beautiful. It's truly a gift that you have. Do you feel
Thank
like
you.
there are any common themes right now going on in the world? And if so, what do you feel like people could use spiritually right
Yeah,
now?
I feel like there's a lot of fear for a lot of people right now, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of heaviness. And I think trying to come into the light, trying to remember our own power, and as much as we can to stay in our own energy and to not let that impact us, especially if you are a sensitive person who, like, seeing a news story can, leave us in tears. And um, so often. So trying to be the light for others in whatever way that we can, I really think that's important, and not to go into these spirals of fear of what might be to come, or, some things that are kind of like clickbait, wanting to force
Absolutely.
into that, and just
Mhm.
trying to be like the clickbait of love and trying to just tune into that positive realm and remembering our power and that we are so powerful. We're creating our destiny, our reality here, and just tapping into our highest frequency and timeline, and knowing that we can do that and to come into our hearts. I think that's something that we're being called to right now, to really step into the love and our own hearts and softening. I think the feminine path, the divine feminine, for me, it comes through so strongly. And I have just been coming into contact with so many women and souls who feel this way too, where it's like embodying our truth, embodying our
Yes.
essence, releasing shame and guilt and regrets, and being in this present moment. And just stepping into love.
Because we don't have to keep carrying all of that.
No.
I'm not sure why that took me a long time to grasp, um, that we don't have to carry the weight of the world. We can truly, by every piece we work to heal within ourselves, we can begin to have this beautiful light brightening frequency take place coming out of us. And I think sometimes in my realm, I was taught a lot. You put others first always. That's what you do. There's never anything wrong with you. You just say, "Yep, I'm good. I'm fine," and you just go about your business and stay other focused. That's how you become a good girl.
Mhm.
And I think that has maybe caused some damage over the years with a lot of people trying to be the good girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's beautiful the way you describe it, and how coming back to our hearts, like it's okay to be who we authentically are. And in fact, it has a much better and bigger effect when we do, right? When each one
Yeah.
of us do that, and then we come together with other people that do that, and it's just incredible. Um, your business name is All the Above. Can you tell me where that came from or what inspired that?
Yes, that dropped in during our Reiki training, actually.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah. And I felt like I wanted a name that was not my own at that time.
Sure.
And yeah, and I thought about just doing All the Above Reiki. And that's
Mhm.
like my email address has that in it.
Mhm.
But then I kind of realized I wanted it to just include all of these different aspects of the
Mm.
modalities I have been learning and I'm interested in. And really everything, really all the above, all the below, everything within us, and returning to that essence of our authentic truth. And yeah, but to me, I think all the above is all of the realms really that we can tap into, and realizing that, remembering that, and acknowledging our multidimensionality, that we're more than just these bodies and
Yes.
lifetimes and energies. So
Mm.
just encompassing all of who we are.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and there are countless realms and dimensions, and the more you go down this rabbit hole, so to speak, you learn more and more, and you just the expansion of the energy, right, is so beautiful. You get to connect with so many varieties, I would say, right?
So
uh,
beautiful.
oh, it's just incredible. Do you think that there's any particular thing that maybe inhibits people from trying to connect with their authentic self or truly embodying their authentic self? Or do you feel like it's kind of a collection of things?
I think it's a collection, but primarily I think it's fear and wanting to protect ourselves. And I see this so clearly for myself with putting up heart walls and not trusting myself, but it all led back to fear and feeling like I needed to protect myself, afraid of being shamed, afraid of being judged, afraid of rejection, afraid of not being loved back or accepted or worthy of love. And all of those terms, all of that it's rooted in fear because we're afraid of what might hurt. But I think it's more painful if we don't listen, if we don't trust our hearts and let ourselves be open to being broken. So,
Oh, that is so beautiful. And honestly, the longer amount of time and the more we shove down who we really are and try to hide it and to stuff away our true thoughts. And honestly, the more havoc it starts to cause within our body as well.
mhm,
You know, this is how we start to breed things like disease or um, chronic pain syndromes. There's so many different things because our physical bodies can only take so much, right? And an emotion is meant to emote. It's to come out. And if we feel like, I know sometimes it becomes a very subconscious thing where we hide ourselves, but when we get to a point where we're constantly like we're aware of who we really are inside and we really um, resonate with that beautiful being in there, but we are so terrified to let it come out and we just keep shoving it down and shoving it down and shoving it down. It not only creates disturbances within your relationships, but also within your body, right? It's just,
definitely.
oh, it's hard. I know it's not easy. a lot of the time. I understand that. And trust me, I went through a lot with that. But is there, so, you work with affirmations and meditations and stuff like that. Has that always been a thing, or did you just like in the last year or so start doing affirmations? And if you are familiar with the affirmations for a while, how do you feel like it's helped you in your life?
It's been something I've done for a long time. And I think I started around the time of 2020 as well, when I was going through, I'd been let go from a job that my whole identity was tied into that. That was who I was. I didn't know who I was after I was no longer working as a
Mhm.
fashion editor. I was like, who am I? And then
Right.
it was like the pandemic, and I felt so lost, and I needed something to return to. And the affirmations were so helpful then. I listened to the same ones repeatedly. I think Bob Baker on YouTube at the time, and I think he's still
Mhm.
doing it. So then it kind of carried through as a thread, just listening to them in the morning while I got ready, just for years as something that was part of my routine. And kind of gone through phases where I do them, I don't do them. Um, and then it really came back around the time of our Reiki training. A month or two before that, I was like, oh, I want to maybe start recording them myself. I was wanting to use my voice in a way to do something that I was
Mhm.
expressing my truth and authenticity and could help
Mhm.
others, which just feels like my soul mission here. And so I ordered the microphone, and I think during our Reiki training, it was like in transit to me. So I love that thread that,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
then it,
amazing.
it sat on my floor for months until I actually got it out and started
Right.
recording. And then it took me a little bit to actually record affirmation meditations. But
Mm.
um, yeah, and it's something now where I still will just listen and will record things based on what I need often. So
Oh,
then
okay.
listening back for myself too is helpful to, um, yeah, to come back to it and feel the energy of it too. And I do think listening to something repeatedly, if you're really feeling into the energy, I think there's a difference if you're just listening passively versus
Right.
listening and
Sure.
changing that energy
Absolutely.
and, yeah, feeling it and going
Mhm.
into that sort of state. So I love affirmations. I know there's a lot of people that will say like it doesn't do anything if
Right.
you're not feeling it. But I think anytime we're listening to something positive and just changing the narrative, it can just make a shift really quickly, whether you're meditating or not, whether you're like in this moment of stress and just need to come back to stillness or peace and driving and
Right.
listening. Yeah.
Are there any affirmations that come to mind right now? Like any that you can think of off the top of your head to share with us?
Mm. One thing that I loved and for years was my phone screensaver that I always come back to is you just have to believe in impossible things and impossible things will begin to happen. And
Ooh,
I
can you
just
say
love
that one more
that.
time?
You just have to believe in impossible things and impossible things will begin to happen.
That is beautiful.
I
Wow.
think it's by R.M. Drake, but that one always just makes me feel connected to that we can do anything and are so worthy and we are so whole and complete as exactly as we are. We are more than enough. We are and have always been good enough. And we are love and we are light. Those are all of the ones that I'm always kind of
Yes.
playing in my head.
And truly, 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 the more we tap into that, the more we tap into the gratitude as well, right? Magic like starts to happen. Legit
Mhm.
magical things start happening, right? It's
So
insane.
much magic. Yeah,
Yes.
it's beautiful.
It's hard to wrap our logical mind around things sometimes when it does that. We want to brush it off. But if I could give any advice, take note of the magic happening around you 100%.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Are there any let's see, like advice, I have clients sometimes that feel very disconnected from their intuition. We will, we'll discuss things, we'll, try to do meditations and everything, but there's a continued response with some people that they're like, no matter what I do, I'm not connected to my intuition. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Da, 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 da. Is there any advice that you would like to give to them or any suggestions?
I hear that a lot from friends and people as well, where it's almost like not realizing it's possible for all of us. And
Yeah.
yeah, again, I just want to say that I think this is natural for all of us and it comes in different ways and it doesn't have to look like maybe what you see or what you would expect. We're all not seeing a vision or hearing voices. It can be your dreams. It can be just the way that your body feels, wanting to maybe go a different direction. It can be so many things. And I think just knowing you have that innate ability and remembering that. And we've been told, so many of us, to kind of turn that off, or that's not real, or you're not, don't believe in that, or whatever those programs are. And remembering that it's a program and that we can choose to step into a new program, a new belief, a new reality that is this magical realm. And to practice, I think it's such a muscle as well, where
Yeah.
most of us aren't just right away picking up on things and connecting. And mediumship for me still, I have to really work at that. It's something I'm still really practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And we can all get better, and setting the intention, just being open to, to connect and to receive guidance from your intuition. I think that's a good place to start in meditation also.
Absolutely. What has your spiritual journey taught you about the word trust?
Mm. Ooh, trust.
Yeah.
That is such a big one for me. I think there are so many instances where I look back and realize how I did not trust myself. And then it's like a certain situation coming up then 10 years later where I realize, oh, I knew this all along in my heart. I knew
Mhm.
the love I knew, and I should have just trusted myself. And um, I think it's taught me to just follow your heart, to follow where your soul wants you to go, where you're called to, and to trust that we're always being
Mm.
divinely guided. And I think going through a lot of grief, a lot of loss, a lot of not loving myself, honestly, at lots of points in my life, that I see now how it's been part of my divine journey, and how the things that I thought at my lowest, like broken, feeling so low and in the dark, where that has led me exactly to where I am now, and where I couldn't see others in the way that I do, through this
Mm.
sense of lens of love and sense of compassion, had I not experienced every part of my journey. So seeing it also from this kind of perspective of outside of ourselves a little bit, our higher selves coming here to learn these lessons and to experience all of it, to feel all of it. And it's all part of our divine timing and path. And yeah, I really, really believe that we're all where we're meant to be in every moment. And it's taken me so long to learn to trust that.
Right.
I still am remembering that and trying to trust in
Yeah.
moments. But yeah, I think now I feel much more connected to my heart and just listening to myself. So always a work in progress.
Yes. And I think that it's so important that you mention practice and that it's a muscle. So not only the intuition, but the trusting is, it takes a lot of practice. Takes a lot of practice. That I would say that was probably one of my biggest roadblocks along my spiritual journey. And it still comes up sometimes now, and spirit will tell me to do something, and I'll be like, what? that's crazy, you know? And
Me too.
yeah. And I'll be like, I don't know. I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust. So you got to talk to yourself sometimes, and it's okay. Um, but it takes practice. So much of this takes practice because if you think about all of the programming that's take place over your life already, that didn't just happen in a 3-minute conversation, right? I mean, between, your family, between your culture, between your world, like there's so many different pieces of information that are put into you on a daily basis. So learning to trust your own voice can be quite a struggle, and spirit for that matter. And when it
Yeah.
comes to intuition and things like that too, sometimes it's so subtle and so
So
quiet.
subtle.
And if we have stuff going on in our head 24/7, and then we add about 4 energy drinks to that, sometimes it makes it a little tricky to be able to hear subtle
Yeah,
things, right? So we really
completely.
got to be able to give ourselves a place to slow down enough to get quiet enough to get around like-minded people and to remind yourself repeatedly of how loved you are.
Mm, yes.
It's just oh, and once you do that, it does start to get easier, but it takes a lot of practice and a lot of oof to get through it. So Meredith, couple fun questions. If you could sit down and have a conversation with any spiritual teacher, living or past, who would it be and why?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good one. Okay, I'm going to say Mary Magdalene because I feel such a deep connection to her.
Oh,
um, yeah, and I have been a student of hers, I think, in my lifetime here. And I feel like I'm learning just from books connected to her and in meditation experiences and just studying all of the teachings that are out there. But I would just love to
mm,
sit and hear how I can be on the path and kind of serve and follow this thread to help humanity.
that is beautiful. Wow. 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 I can feel that. What spiritual practice can you not imagine your life without? Do you feel like so
Wow. Oh my gosh. I would say meditation because I just can't imagine if I didn't give myself that stillness and that spaciousness to receive and to listen and to come back to my soul in connection to the divine. That would be really hard to imagine living without that in my life.
I love that. And what do you feel like if you had to pick like one leader, one speaker, one teacher, um, the first one that would pop in your head that brings you the most joy immediately upon hearing them? Someone that will make
Mm.
you laugh, make you smile, make you feel into your heart.
I'm going to say my teacher, Kimber Tiernan, who I've studied the Akashic Records with, and she is just such a profound channel and wisdom teacher and has helped me on my soul journey and understanding myself and my path profoundly, where it's really changed my life so deeply. So infinitely grateful for her teachings.
Mm. And what is one piece of advice you would give to the Meredith that was 20 years younger than you are now?
Mm, oh, I would tell her that she has always been good enough and worthy, and she doesn't need to prove anything to anyone or change herself,
Mm,
and to stay exactly as you are, to that I'm always there with you, higher, older Meredith is always there with you, higher self Meredith, and you're always connected to the divine in love, and to trust your journey and to connect to when you are feeling alone, you're never alone, and to connect with source and the light and your angels.
oh, I am so hugging big and little Meredith right now.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that's absolutely beautiful. So Meredith, I understand that you have a beautiful gift for our listeners today. Can you tell everyone about what you are offering and how they can reach out to you?
Yes, I'd love to offer some free sessions to your listeners. So if you feel free to message me on Instagram or reach out via email.
And what is your Instagram name and your website?
My Instagram is all the above, and I have, I believe, 2 underscores between all and then the. So all the above. And then my website is alltheabove.love. So you can connect with me there. And my email is there. There's a contact form. So lots of places to reach out to me.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful conversation. Meredith, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your heart, and your journey with us today. Your passion for helping others remember their light and reconnect with the truth of who they are is truly inspiring. To all of our listeners, if something in today's episode resonated with you, I encourage you to reach out to Meredith. Reach out by clicking on her contact on her website. Take advantage of her generous offer. She's offering 5 free sessions, you guys. So do not delay. Reach out as soon as you can to grab one of those. That is such a generous offer. And she is incredible. If you truly want to be held, reach out to her. As always, remember that healing is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you are, who you have always been underneath the conditioning, the fear, the stories. You are the light, you are the love, and you are guided, and your soul remembers the ways. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who may need these messages today. Until next time, beautiful souls, continue shining your light, trusting your journey, and honoring the sacred wisdom that lives within you. This is Justina with the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast, sending you so much love, light, and blessings, and I'll see you next time. Hi, before you go, hey, I just want to say thank you again. I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. And I hope that you can feel the sense of community. Every time you listen to one of these episodes, you're in community with not only me, but everybody else that's listening too. And in that beautiful frequency that's created, we get to have our hearts infused with the love and peace and the hope that we have for each other. So thank you so much for that. So as you move back into your day, I invite you to take a moment, just soften your shoulders, breathe into your heart, and notice what shifted for you in this conversation. How do you feel? I hope amazing. And if this episode resonated, please follow the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. Take a minute to leave a review. Your words help this healing ripple reach other beautiful souls who are quietly longing for support, remembrance, and community. And stay connected. You can visit my website, angelreikijourney.com. You can book an Angel Reiki session there. You can see some of the other events that we have going on. And if you scroll to the bottom, sign up for the newsletter where I share soulful reflections, upcoming offers, and gentle invitations to reconnect with yourself. You can also find me on Instagram at Angel Reiki Journey for inspiration. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm over there too. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to carry all this alone. You are deeply supported. You are divinely guided, and you are worthy of ease and joy and magnetizing moments in your life. And I'm so excited for that. Until we meet again, take care of your beautiful heart and know that it's okay to choose yourself. It's okay to offer self-love to yourself, and it's okay to receive the love and abundance this universe wants to give you. So I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.